Hey y'all, it's DJ and I'm back with another video. And for this video, God is saying, you are not waiting on the blessing, you are waiting for your glory to be revealed. For about 2 days, I had really got upset and really just got overwhelmed and annoyed, and I had turned up on God. I really had to voice to him exactly how I felt, exactly how he was making me feel, and let him know just how uncomfortable I am. I can't say was, am. Because after telling him so many times, continuously stressing to him, look, God, I'm trying to be respectful. I'm trying to be mindful of what you are doing, but I'm worn out. I'm tired. I'm drained. I don't want to keep hitting breaking point after breaking point. I know you're going to lift me up. I appreciate you lifting me up, but I don't even want to have to be lifted up in that way because it's too much. I just really started to feel that he was more concerned with producing a great testimony versus my feelings, versus my overall mental well-being. I started to feel that his main concern was to glorify himself, because I'm tired, and it seems like you don't care, because if you cared, why aren't you resting me? Why aren't you changing the situation? And why do you keep changing your plans last minute? Why I keep thinking you leading me over here, and then you looking and saying, well, why are you over there? You should be over here. Okay, come this way. Okay, now we're going to make a left. Okay, now we're going to turn back. You know what? Let's just sit down. You know what? Let's get up. You know what? Let's take off running. You know what? Let's stop. I just truly began to question, will it even be worth it? My spirit was like, of course it'll be worth it. Of course God is going to do what he said he's going to do. But my flesh, my mind, my heart was like, man, at this point, will the blessing even be worth the sacrifice? And he did not say a word to me for those 2 days, but I could feel him listening to me. Have you ever just sat on the phone with somebody and you just venting, you going off and they quiet and you like, hello? Are you there? You can hear them breathing, but they aren't saying nothing. And that alone was frustrating me, because why aren't you saying anything? And by day 2, I was tight. In day 2, I was just sitting at McDonald's and I started to go through my phone, trying to clear up storage, deleting pictures and stuff. And I saw 2 pictures that I kind of had forgot that I had just taken a couple of days before. And I'm going to insert the pictures. I'm just sitting at the red light drinking my drink, and I happened to look down at the cup and saw the numbers 2872. And then I went to look up, and the car in front of me had the numbers 2872 on the license plate. But I was so tired, mentally, emotionally, physically tired. I didn't even realize at first. I'm like, why does 2872 seem familiar? Then I went to drink my drink again, and I was like, wait a minute. What are the odds? What are the chances that I see that number at the bottom of my cup, but then also see it at the red light on the license plate of the car directly in front of me? And I had said that I was going to try to look up what that meant, but it had slipped my mind. But this is what I wrote in my journal about it. Some Hebrew meanings of the number 2872 I found were highest part, center, middle, midst, and also to grow weary, toil. And I wrote, from that I'm at the peak of my suffering. I'm smack dab between the old and the new, right in the midst. I am weary, soul, spirit, and heart. God has to come through for me, because he is not a liar. He may go back on his word, but he's not a liar. Because, like I said, God be changing his plans sometimes. He is not a deceiver. I don't understand his ways, and he has shattered my heart. But I choose to believe he is a good father and friend. I'm at the height of my suffering. I'm not going to fake like I'm happy, because I'm not. I am not in good spirits. I'm weary. And the definition of weary is feeling or showing tiredness as a result of excessive exertion, exhausted in strength, endurance, vigor, or freshness. having one's patience, tolerance, or pleasure exhausted. The definition of exhaust is to consume entirely, use up completely, to empty over time. And I said, yep, that's exactly what I am, weary and exhausted as a result of excessive exertion. I am completely depleted in strength, endurance, and spirit. My patience and tolerance have been poured out empty. I'm like a 95 Honda that has finally given out. And this is in reference to this car my mom used to have. I said, you know, when that Infiniti stopped in the neighborhood, you could just tell that car was dead, done. I am dead and done. It comes a point where a car, baby, ain't no more repairs. You can't take it to nobody. That car is dead and done. So then I had went to talk to God. I said, let me just get up and try to talk to him again. And let's see if he gonna respond to me. Then maybe if I just calm down. Sometimes I would tell God, okay, God, I'm trying to talk to you. And I'm willing to put my attitude, I'm willing to put my thoughts and emotions to the side. Please, just say something to me. And so I did. I went and I talked to him, and he said to me, I am rescuing you, and it will be worth it. And I can't lie, in my mind, I was like, oh, so now you respond? It's been a good 48 hours, and you haven't said a peep. But then he says to me that he gave me time to express how I felt because I have the right to feel that way. And I pray that that would be confirmation to somebody who has found themselves fed up with God. I don't know what you are doing, and I'm really trying to act like it's not making me upset, but at this point I can't even pretend I'm frustrated. And you think that you're wrong for feeling that way. You think that you're wrong for feeling like you're not pleased with God. Feeling like you're not pleased with his ways, not pleased with his timing. Like I've been stressing here lately, as God continues to put it on my heart. Bring to him how you feel. Be honest with him how you feel. Because we may feel like because it's God and because God is doing what God do, that we automatically are supposed to be happy or grateful for what he's doing, even when it's hurting. But God does not see it that way. He understands that we're human. He understands that we have feelings. He understands that we have a fleshly body that grows tired, that grows upset. And when I said that, I felt as though God's main concern was to glorify himself. In part, I felt like that because when we think of going through trying times, when we are going through trying times, oftentimes people will say, God is trying to get the glory out of your situation. Or we'll say things like, I'm going to just let God get the glory. God, I know you're trying to get the glory. And I get what it's supposed to mean, but it's interpreted incorrectly. Because if we believe God is trying to get the glory out of us, we'll assume the testing and trials are to produce the glory. We'll think we have to measure up to the glory. We'll think we're waiting to be worthy of the glory. We'll think hardships and warfare are one of the ways God glorifies himself. But God don't need your car repo to display his glory. In fact, God doesn't need to glorify himself at all. And regarding that, I said, God doesn't need glory. He's God. He chooses to glorify his creation. He wants to be known, not glorified. Because if you think about it, in all of God's might, in all of God's majesty, why would he need to be glorified? Yes, we glorify God through our praise, and yes, he enjoys our praise, but he doesn't want to just be praised. He doesn't need to be praised at the end of the day. He wants to be known. I went on to say, good parents love to stunt through their kids, brag on their kids. And as I was writing that, God had reminded me of me with my own son. One, when my son was a baby, I used to really like buying him Forces and Jordans and, dressing him up and stuff. Not doing the most, but I don't know. I just think it's cute when little kids have on, nice little shoes and stuff. And God had pointed out to me that, I wasn't sitting back like, yup, I did that. Every time somebody would say, oh, he's so cute, I wasn't like, yup, I had him. That's because of me. Yup, that outfit, I bought it. Those shoes. I let him get his shine. And in the same sense, God isn't in search of glory. He wants our God-given glory to shine through us. I went on to say, he chose me, longed for me to reveal his glory through me, and it's heavy. You want to know the weight of the glory? Look at God. He's my portion. I'm not waiting on tangible things. I'm waiting for the glory of God to be revealed. At this point, the sun shining is a sign. Each cloud is a sign. The trees blowing in the wind is a sign. Of course, it'll be worth it. God is everlasting, overflowing, abounding. Why would God waste time building, constructing something if he didn't plan to reveal it? Ain't no way. God watched me cry 17 years just to give me a house and car. And when I said that I was beginning to question whether the blessings would be worth it in the end, I started to think to myself, I'm like, okay, I don't know what all God is doing or what he can do, but I'm like, okay, you could give me a nice house, you could give me a nice car, you could give me a nice husband, you could give me a nice business, you could give me some more nice kids. And like at that point, what else okay, I can travel the world. At that point, what else can I really just be blessed with other than like peace and joy and things of that sort? But I was really just thinking like, okay, but the way the suffering was hitting, in the amount of time that it was hitting for. And then to push through these last 67 days, am I really waiting on simply a house and a car? Because if so, that is not going to be worth it. But if you really think about it, tangible blessings could never measure up. Never. I've heard other people say as well, the word says double for your trouble, but how in the world could God give me double? I just don't understand. I can't even fathom how anything of this earth could possibly measure up to the suffering, to the sacrifice. But God had to shift my perspective. I'm not waiting on a blessing. I'm waiting on God to reveal the glory he placed in me. And the glory he gave me isn't his, it's mine. God needs you to understand that the glory that he is going to reveal in you, through you, at that point, is no longer his glory. It's now yours. Psalm 21:5 says, through the victories you gave, his glory is great. You have bestowed on him splendor and majesty. Through the works of God, the King's glory was made great. And as an example, if it's my birthday and you buy me a gift, the gift is mine to have. Once the gift is in my possession, it is no longer yours, nor do you expect it to be. Because how you going to give somebody a gift and say, okay, I gifted this person this, but this is still mine? No. Once that gift is no longer in your possession and in the possession of the one that you have destined to receive it, it's no longer yours, nor do you expect it to be. But even though the gift is now mine, I still give you praise. If I'm walking down the street and someone compliments my bag, out of love and reverence for the one who gifted me the bag, I would mention them. Oh yes, my best friend bought me this purse. Oh yeah, my husband bought me these shoes. In the same sense, God doesn't mind letting you shine because he knows you will boldly profess him as your source. Praise will be on your lips. The definition of glory is to take great pride or pleasure in, to exalt with triumph, rejoice proudly, describe or represent as admirable, especially unjustifiably, reveal the splendor of God. The definition of glory, as in the noun, is adoring praise, very great praise, honor, and distinction bestowed by common consent. meaning amongst God and men. Something that is a source of honor, fame, or admiration, a distinguished ornament of pride, an object of pride. God pruned and refined you up to this point so that your God-given glory will shine at max capacity, as he called it, and shine in the way he intended it to. Everybody has been bestowed glory, but everybody can't be entrusted with glory. Again, glory is considered praise, honor, admiration, and fame. You thought you were being tried for the blessings. You were being tried for the impact of your glory. If this video is truly for you, please know that God entrusts you with glory and has since the beginning of time. Your trials were never to approve or disprove your worthiness of it. God doesn't test us to pass or fail us. He knows what he made. He knows we are good product. It don't matter how proud you are of your product. It doesn't matter how well you know your product performs. You're going to always be looking for ways to fine-tune it. You're going to always be seeking room for improvement. You're going to always be trying to see, well, what if I do this? What if I do that? What if I pull a little bit of this out? Now add a little bit of this back. Shift your focus. You aren't waiting to be approved for a blessing. You're waiting on your glory to be revealed. The definition of reveal is to make known, cause, or allow to be seen. But my favorite, make known to humans by divine supernatural means. You are waiting for your glory to be made known to you and to those around you by divine supernatural means. Your glory is the blessing. Everything else is just a byproduct. If you're waiting to be blessed with the business grant, a no may defeat you. But if you're awaiting the reveal of your glory, you know at the appointed time it'll be handed to you. Listen, I didn't even have to ask for it. Listen, I didn't even tell them what I needed. I didn't even tell them what I was looking for. But it was just handed to me, just off the strength. Just because I knew who you were before you walked in here. Maybe not your name, but your spirit. So at that point, no just simply means it's not quite my time. If you're barely getting likes on your business page, on your business Instagram, cool. That just simply means it's not my time. But when it is, your glory will be made known. Knowing you are awaiting your God-given glory removes the pressure you've placed on yourself to perform well as to act, meaning to help yourself. Because one of the weirdest feelings is feeling like you have so much on your plate, so much you can be doing, so much you could be looking for, so much you could be researching, so much you could be looking into, and God says, nope, just sit there and be still. But please know, some blessings require work, filling out paperwork, going into the office, waiting on a call, an email. But your glory is all God. And when it's revealed, who can say no? Who could stop Job's latter days from being blessed? Who could stop the blind man from seeing? Who could stop the breath of life from breathing back into Lazarus? Who could tell the dead girl to go back to sleep? I wrote in my journal, Job always had the glory. The blind man always had the glory. The invalid man always had the glory. They weren't waiting on blessings. They were waiting for their glory to be revealed at the appointed time. For God to showcase them, display them. What did Jesus say about the blind man? He was afflicted so that the glory of God could be revealed, so that those around him would see God through him. Glory can also be defined as the splendor and bliss of heaven. In the NIV version, it says that Jesus said, but this happened so that the works of God might be displayed in him. And of course, we are not able to comprehend the Lord being our portion and what that even means or looks like. But just know the weight of your affliction can also be used in representation of the weight of the glory bestowed to you. And I went on to say, God will now reveal me to me. Everything is about to make sense. Let me not dare to belittle God by asking, where are my blessings? God, where is my glory? Reveal me to me. Uncover me, make me no longer hidden. Let me be a witness of the bliss and splendor of the highest heavens. I hear gem, rarest uncut gem revealed. Uncut gems are cheap and worthless compared to cut ones. Man holds them to little value, but the jeweler knows its true worth. And once that gem is cut, polished, and revealed, those who see stand in awe of its beauty. I heard ruby. The biblical meaning of ruby is beauty and wisdom. Glory also means majestic, magnificent, or great beauty. I wasn't even going to include this, but God says that this is someone's confirmation. The day before I wrote this, I kept seeing the number 9, and I kept seeing numbers that add up to the number 9. And when I say I kept seeing it, I'm seeing well over 10 times in one day. If you think about it, we see a lot of numbers. Like all day long, we see numbers, we see colors, we see letters, we see words. But if you seem to keep seeing something over and over and it's being highlighted in your spirit, there's a reason behind that. As I was writing, I just felt the need to look up the word see. And one of the things that I ran across is the Strong's number for the word see is the number 7200. And of course, 7 plus 2 is 9. And I thought about it. Not only did I see the number 9 numerous times the day before, but also the story of the blind man is in John chapter 9. And since I wrote this, since God has given me this revelation, all I can hear is see, see, see. Now you will see. Now you will see. It is truly time to see. Whether you see tonight, whether you see this morning, whether you see this afternoon, whether you see tomorrow, it is time to see. If you get up tomorrow and there's light in the sky, if you get up tomorrow and the sun is shining, if you get up tomorrow and the wind is still blowing, if you get up tomorrow and the birds are still chirping, as long as the ocean waters are still being held back, you can rest assured that your glory will still be revealed at the appointed time. If you have been looking for a sign, put your hand on your chest and see if your heart is still beating. See if you are still breathing. See if you are still in your right mind. It was one night I said, God, you're going to have to show me a sign, because at this point, I just don't even feel like it's going to happen anymore. Nothing is looking like it's going to happen anymore. And I just feel like I keep going around and round and round in circles, and you aren't doing anything. I don't see you doing anything. I thank you for providing, but I don't see what you promised me. And I had noticed that when I came to the hotel I was at, the address said 700, whatever. And I thought, oh, okay, 7, total restoration, cool. Some other things that God had been speaking to me through the number 7. I'm like, cool. And at that time when I was asking God to show me another sign, I was walking back up towards the hotel. And so God says to me, well, look up. And the first thing that I saw was the word welcome, like above the door or something like that. And then I saw 700 at the corner of my eye. And I was like, okay, I've already seen the 7, God. Like, are you now speaking something else through the number 7? Like, I'm confused. And so he said, well, what's the first thing that you saw? And I'm like, the word welcome. And at first I was like, wait, huh? But then it just came over my spirit, welcome to Austin. And so I'm like, okay. But I didn't fully understand what God was saying. And so then he put in my spirit, aren't you here? And I thought, well, duh. Wouldn't that be all the sign that I needed? For some of you, let that be your confirmation. Nothing is looking like anything is happening, but you're not in the same place. You're not in the same mind frame. You don't have the same heart posture. You're not operating through that old broken heart, that old tainted heart anymore. You're not operating through brokenness. You're not operating through sorrow. Yeah, you may be weary, but it's a difference between weary and sorrow. It's a difference between weary and depression. It's a difference between weary and stress. It's a difference between weary and anguish. It is truly now time to see. Stop trying to piece together how God is about to bless you, what he's about to bless you with. I kept saying, I'm like, God, the way that my spirit feel, the heaviness that falls over me when I get into a place of worship with you, when I begin to praise you for what's to come, it don't match up with what you told me I should expect. But see, the praise, what God has shown you, the spirit of joy that God has put over you, it's not even connected to the blessing. It's connected to the glory. You're feeling the weight of the glory. This is not the weight of the blessing. This is the weight of the glory. So then I went on to say, yes, God wants people to see the glory on me in hopes they'll seek him. But it is also that I will receive the honor, praise, and admiration due to me, bestowed to me because of my sacrifice, because of my willingness, his honor, praise, and admiration in me. Because listen, if this word is for you and God is like, you're going to be turned up and this is how you're going to be living and you're going to be so blessed and you're not going to just have that one test that you want, you're going to have 10. And it's like, what? What are you even talking about? I don't even need all that. But in God's eyes, you do. I don't need people wanting to carry my bags out from Dollar Tree and put them in the car. I don't need people to remember how I like my coffee, to remember how I like my pizza. I don't need people to see me coming and already start preparing for me. I already start laying out the table for me. I don't need people to see me in line with 100 things in my basket and they only got 2 and still want to give me their place. I don't need that. But God says it's due to you. The people who this word is truly for, you was never worried about man seeing your glory. You were never worried about man praising you. You were never seeking fame. You were never seeking attention. But let me read it again. But it's also that I will receive the honor, praise, and admiration due to me because of my sacrifice, because of my willingness, his honor, praise, and admiration in me. He is so pleased. He feels I should be an ornament of praise. I know the definition said ornament of pride, but God said ornament of praise. You shall be an ornament of praise. And if you ask me, as far as I'm concerned, the word praise and God is interchangeable. An ornament of God. The definition of ornament is a quality or person adding grace, beauty, or honor to something. Added to embellish something, a useful accessory. I was sitting up there tripping. I said, God, you just want all the glory for yourself. You're not worried about me talking crazy. And little did I know, he don't want to just bless us because he love us. He don't want to just bless us because we his kids. He don't want to just bless us because he want to bless us. He wants us to be an ornament. He wants us to be his ornament. He wants to wear us as a pendant. He feels the need to add us to him, place us in his heart, adding grace, beauty, and honor. Added to embellish him, an almighty God, an all-knowing God, a God that is of mere beauty and majesty all on his own. He wants to make us a useful accessory. How am I any use to God? But God says we are true jewels of the Lord, an ornament of honor, glory, admiration, and praise.